Test, test. Test, test. All right, David, let's go. Oh. Good evening, Vikings, and welcome to us on Lawler. And we have senior night for boys volleyball. This action is coming your way soon. It's between your Niles North Vikings and the Vernon Hills Cougars. As always, I'm Jacob Ornstein.
I'm David Shoshkevich.
And David, we got a great game here for senior night. The Cougars of Vernon Hills and the Vikings of Niles North. David, what can you tell us about these two teams?
Well, of course, we've seen our Vikings all season. There's been some tough losses and some great wins, but a good season for first-year head coach Luke Spicer. On the other side, Vernon Hills, you could say a perennial powerhouse. Several conference victories, several conference championships in the last few years, and you can never doubt them.
Without a doubt, both teams about to break out of their huddle. And here we go. An all senior rotation to start tonight. A lot of festivities. You may notice some balloons and some streamers, some pictures. We had the senior night ceremony shortly before we went live. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to provide it to you, but we still got a game, and we still got a lot of fun ahead. And here we go. Horia Becca to send us off. And here we go. Vernon Hills takes it towards the back, up towards the front, pops up. Nice little tap by the Cougs. And Andrew Selig able to flush it down.
Exceptional to start off, getting that offense running quickly for the Vikings. That's something they're going to need to keep doing and keep doing it well.
Horia Becca to serve once more. Popped up by the Cougs. Good set, spike, and a great dive by Don Bartolaw. Great save. And that is just in. And that's another point for the Vikings.
Don Bartolad, he's all conference for a reason, and he's showing it off already on the second point of the game. What a great job to get that ball up, and a great job to finish the point right on the line by Selig.
So here we go again. Horia Becca puts it up, and almost an ace. Great save by the Cougs. Selig pops it up. Don Bartolaw back to Selig, taps it over. And nice little stop there by the front court. And Stefan Toma, rocket of a spike. Here's Hamoy going up. And sending a Cougar to the ground. Chino Hamoy, great play.
The Cougars continuously trying to push the middle. It does look like 17, their middle does have a slight height advantage on Toma, but they can't make it work just yet.
Not quite yet, and here's Becca. A nice soft serve, and trouble with the net for Vernon Hills, but they eventually get it over. Toma almost takes out a Vernon Hills JV player. Rocket of a spike, but it'll go out of bounds. So Vernon Hills will get their first point of the evening. And number 11 for Vernon Hills to serve. And taps the net a little bit. And Stefan Toma sends a Cougar to the ground. I don't know if he was ready for that one, David.
No, that one came in hot. Keeping it simple so far for the Vikings, but that's what's working up to an early lead of 3.
And that spike by Stefan Toma, that's pure weight room strength. Amazing. Selig. Cougars playing with it. Back towards it, pops up Selig. Becca now to Hamoy. Saved by the Cougars. And a big spike there. And Selig tried to save it with a set, but that one goes ricocheting out of bounds. So Vernon Hills with now 2 points. Number 4 for the Cougars to serve. Right to Selig, over to Becca. And Kieran too, big spike. Where did that one go? Off of his head. Wow.
Big one, whole team yelling head top, and that's what it was. What a great job by 2 to make a great play on the ball.
Wow. So Rafael Don Bartolaw to serve. Don Bartolaw puts it up. Cougars playing with it. And a big spike there. And Andrew Selig not quite able to get there.
Great decision from the setter there for Vernon Hills. After going to the middle a few times, switching it up, finding the single blocker, finding an easy kill.
And some substitutions for Vernon Hills. Number 2 comes in. Number 17 will take a seat in favor of him. So Selleck over to Becca. Kieran 2 and into the net. Also new for the Vikings is number 11, Anthony Alvario. So popped up, Dumbartolo to Becca, and big spike there by Anthony Alvario. Another senior making things happen.
All the emphasis on the hit there, and I'll give Alvario credit, but the set was perfect, right in between both guys, setting Alvario up for a perfect opportunity.
And he was fired up. So Hamoy, high, runs into the net. You know, in the last game we streamed, he ran into that problem a couple other times. Do you think he might auto-adjust it?
I mean, you could only hope so, and that's one of the worst mistakes you can make in volleyball. You're ending the play truly before it even begins, and so that's something immediately that the Vikings will have to fix up.
So number 19 for the Cougars to serve. Becca over to Kieran 2. And he got it, but it went straight into the net. Becca pops up. Kieran 2, nice tap. And wow, what a great play there. These Vikings are making the Cougars dizzy.
Absolutely. That's a good one to get back after a couple mistakes from 2, and now he should have the confidence to put up a good serve.
So here we go. Kieran 2 gets it over. And a monstrous spike by Vernon Hills. That one will go out of bounds. Popped up. Becca. And Andrew Selig just in. Great play there by Selig.
Great job finding the hands early for the Vikings, getting some redirection to the ball, and finding court where there otherwise would not be any.
So here we go. Kieran 2. Popped up by the Cougs. And a little bit of chaos up front. Gino Moy with a spike. And the Cougars, they're just able to save it, able to get it over. Selig, tap. Popped up. And here comes the spike. And that one goes right off of Hamoy. And too many touches. And that was absolutely chaotic. You can't see, but that ball was getting caught up into the rafters. I think I saw it bounce off one of the basketball hoops that have been put up. I mean, great awareness by the Vikings to at least kill it in the sense of that's a point for Vernon Hills. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's just the chaos of this game. It's getting me all dizzy. So popped up. And able to slam it home. And another face checking in for the Vikings. One of our own, number 17, Rhino Kalamutan. And he is back to serve. Kalamutan gets it over. And a slight tap there by number 1 of the Cougars. And a big spike with some into dead space. That's a point for Vernon Hills. And Anthony Alvario checks back, or does he? No, he has a seat. In favor of Toma, who was checked back in. And there's a great play there by Gino Hamoy. So 11-9 right so far in the first set. Here's Horia Becca. So Becca pops it up. Touched the net a little bit. And tap there. Good save by Don Bartolo. And a dump off the net. A great play there by number 6 from Vernon Hills.
Almost looked like a slam dunk there. That could have been a little bit of a throw, but it looks like the referees are going to stay out of this one for the moment now.
They're just going to let the kids play. You'll have to see it. So that one gets over to Don Bartolo. Popped up here, Selig, and blocked by number 4 on the Cougars. And now this Vernon Hills bench is starting to come to life.
Big single block there, making his presence known, number 9, with some long arms there, finds a way for the ball to get down.
So popped over, and Don Bartolo not able to save it. Another point for Vernon Hills, and they have their first lead of the night. So number 11 for the Cougars to serve. Popped up by Selig to Becca. Long out to Hamoy, and you can't do that. That's another point for Vernon Hills.
I think the call was a carry. I could see it. I think I'll need to look at it again in slow motion, though.
Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of budget, David. And outside, and the Vikings catch a break for once, or at least in this stretch. They've been playing great all night. So here we go, 12-13 as Selig is able to get it over. And a missed spike there by 17 on Vernon Hills. And Toma able to just get it over. 14, blocked by the big bodies of Toma and Hamoy.
Big block. It looked like they might be able to get it up. That ball did not go straight down, but it just about finds the inside of the line. Big play there for Toma.
And it's just a great job by not just Toma, but Hamoy, just able to really utilize as much body space as possible. And that one goes flying out of bounds. Another point for the Vikings, and they regain the lead, 14-13 here in the first set. So, Andrew Selig to serve. Popped up by the Cougs. And that one goes careening off of, I believe it was Kieran too. So, all tied up here. So number 4 for the Cougars to serve. Popped up by Selig, over to Becca. And Kieran too. And that one will fall. A point for the Vikings.
I'm noticing that as the setter, number 11, steps up, number 4 is not covering his area much at all. And if 2 can keep finding that area, that back left of the court, zone number 1, he'll keep finding some solid points because it is just an area that's not getting covered.
So here's Don Bartolo. And that one, a little bit of weakness to it. And a big spike there. That one will go out of bounds. 16-14, Vikings.
Surely something that will be addressed at the end of this set for the Cougars. They're coming in swinging hard, and you've got to respect it, but lacking just a little bit of control. A lot of balls have went out of bounds.
And a little bit of chaos there. It was hard to tell what exactly was going on. Cougars pop it up. Alvario to Becca. And Hamoy. Over number 13, the Lib. Becca to Don Bartolo. And here comes Hamoy. And a great placement by Hamoy. Able to find some good space. And just like that, we have our first time out of the evening. Vikings lead 18-14. And David, both teams have played really well. What are your takeaways from this performance from both sides?
I mean, I think we certainly ended up, or we were expecting a competitive game, and that's what we're getting. That 4-point lead, I don't think is indicative of the game so far. I think Vernon Hills has made some great plays, but the big thing right now are the hits out of bounds. I forget if I'm counting 4 or 5 of them. If those balls just end up on the court, let's say they win 50% of those points, this is a much closer game than 18-14. But certainly any momentum shift is possible, so I don't think it's early enough to say anything about how the set's going to end up.
So both teams are breaking out of their huddles. And Dom Bartolow's back to serve. We're live here at the Loud House on Lawler for senior night, 18-14 if you're just tuning in. And Dom Bartolow pops it over. And right, it's the net. And it's mistakes like that. It's what you were talking about. It's like that. It's that 50% that the Cougars are not getting.
Yeah, and the thing there was he absolutely had space. I think he could have gotten that kill line, but it's just not in the right place.
So Cougars pop it up and got a finger on the spike, so not a lot of strength to it. And that will be a point for the Vikings. Credit to Kieran too, and looks like it almost knocked out Vernon Hills' film camera.
Yeah, it's a rough place to have a camera right in the middle of the court, but a great job by two there to find the fingertips. I believe that's his 3rd kill of the game, perhaps 4th. I believe 3rd. He's playing well so far.
So here we go. There is Selig over to Becca. Alvario, I think he tried to tap it over to Kieran too, but a bit of a miscommunication between the two.
I believe that was going to Alvario, but yeah, of course, that's just a rough one. Setter's off the line a little bit. He's trying to make something happen, and he just couldn't find it there.
So 2015. Number 2 to get it over to 2. Becca and Hamoy able to flush it down. And a great play there as some subs come in for Vernon Hills. Number 13 checks in. Number 4 pops it up. And way out of bounds. Too much strength from the Cougars. And that extends the Viking lead to 7.
Early on, that right side hit was working because the middle was working as well. Now as the middle has stopped working, they can't find any right side kills either. As now finally they find a kill from the outside. But the lead is still 6 for the Vikings.
So able to get a little more momentum going for them. Vernon Hills able to get that point. So number 19 for Vernon Hills back to serve. And gets it long out to Kieran too, and he did not get all of that. That's gonna go out of bounds. A point for the Cougars.
A play that could have been made, I could say somewhat easily, so that is a rough one to lose, but still a lot more that the Cougars have to do to come back here.
Alvario, little tap. And that one over the 2 to Becca. And Andrew Selig, I could see the vision. He was trying to go for the big spike off of someone's head. Instead, the ball met the net. So Becca, flight tap, Alvario, a little bit of a sky hook. And 2, just gets it over 19 that is, number 9, and blocked by Horia Becca. That one's getting the bench on their feet.
got me on my feet too. That's always exciting to see. As a setter, you're typically going to be the smallest guy in the front row, so making a play like that is huge.
So 2. And a little bit of a botch there by number 4, able to still get it off, and that goes way out of bounds. Almost struck the face of someone on the bench. And 24-18, set point for the Vikings. So Kieran 2, way over to number 9. Able to get a block off, and the Cougars fighting to get it over, just get it over. What a save. And over to the Cougars. And blocked. Here's Amoy to Don Bartolo. 2. And that was out. Very close there, but I think unless you could really prove that it's inside, you got to give that to the Cougars, with the Vikings having such a substantial lead so far.
I mean, it was certainly close and almost a great job to make something fantastic out of a broken play.
And there's Amoy, and that will do it for the set. Gino Amoy able to put it away, and the Vikings take the first set 25-19. And David, what can you say about the Vikings' performance in that set?
I think they minimized their mistakes. That's the number one thing, where they were allowing balls to go out of bounds. They were finding the lines well. They were not missing serves. They were hitting off the hands. I feel like everything that should be this Vikings identity, they were doing well in that first set, and that explains a solid 6-point set win.
So we'll take a quick 2-minute break. We'll see you then. And welcome back to the Loud House on Lawler Boys Volleyball Senior Night edition against Vernon Hills. I'm Jacob Ornstein. David Soshkevich, he'll be joining me back shortly. He had to step out real quick. In the meantime, it's just me. Hope you guys like my company. The Vikings won the first set 25-19, and they'll be looking to be just as aggressive. And look who is joining back with me.
I'm back. Needed a little bit of a water break after that one, but we're here. We're here, and we're ready to watch another set.
We stay hydrated here on NN Viking Media. You should too. Go grab some water now. So number 11 for Vernon Hills gets it underway. And that one immediately goes out. An ace in the wrong direction.
Again, a good job by the Vikings immediately. They have a great eye on the line this game, not taking balls that they don't need to take and getting easy points out of it.
So Becca pops it up. Flying out, number 4 gets it over to Dom Bartolaw. To Becca, to Selig. Little tap there. And that one flies off number 9. And that's a point for the Vikings.
Filthy tip there for Selig. That's exactly what you're looking for. Just a little bit of a tap. Force the blocker to try to come down and take it. And a lot of times, especially at this level, nothing will happen from there.
So here we go, number 14 into the net. A point for the Vikings. Extra slow for dramatic effect. I said unnecessarily slow. Toma. And that one just gets in. Nice little shot to the coffin corner.
Fantastic job. His body movement is incredible. The way the hips rotate to be able to hit all the way at the other side of the court is something special.
And Oria Becca tried to get it over, did not have enough mustard to it. And Gina Hamoy, big spike, big points, 5-1.
Great job to find the inside, or rather the outside of the middle blocker's hands. And again, just like they're doing, and just like they did in the first set, the Vikings are finding the hands on the blocks and creating absolutely no opportunities for the ball to get up, as that is a great up from Dan Bartolad. 2, can't do anything with it.
And that will give Vernon Hills another point. So here we go. Number 13 for the Cougars. So Dom Bartolaw, back to serve. Over to Becca. Alvario tries to slam it home, but not quite. And a big spike there by Vernon Hills, right to the crowd. You gotta keep your head on a swivel.
Of course, you know, no net there, unlike in baseball, to protect the fans. But luckily, I don't think that one was doing any damage. That one could have did some damage. Big swing from 17 to get a good point for the Cougars.
That one ought to put a dent in the floor. And a little bit of delay here. The ball seemed to have got away from Vernon Hills. Now we got it. Let's go. Here's Becca. And Kieran too, blocked. But it is blocked out of bounds. So another point there for Niles North.
Again, too, I can't stop mentioning it. He keeps finding the hands, and I think all but one of his kills have been off the hands. He just keeps finding them in good positions. As that one flies just a little bit far for Hamoy, but still a 4-point lead maintained for the Vikings.
So high spike there by number 4 for Vernon Hills. Just gets it over. Hamoy, a monstrous spike into the net.
Whole lot of power with a good approach. Just can't find the best contact with the ball there.
And also just it didn't seem to have the right angle on there. The timing seemed a little bit off there from Hamoy. And that one, that was some perfect timing. A great coffin corner slam. So 8-6. And that one, a little too much of a slam. 9-6.
Really a game of inches off the contact. Those look like two identical serves, but one falls 3 inches out, one falls 3 inches in, one falls 9 inches out. It's so close yet so far.
You know, game of inches is typically a football term, but you know, it really does apply into a sport like this.
Yeah, everything's a game of inches when you really think about it.
So here is Kieran 2. Popped up. Picked up by number 4. And a little bit of a weak spike there. And that one sends 2 to the floor. 10-7. And subs coming in for Vernon Hills, number 2. And number 16 come in for Vernon Hills. Way over to Don Bartala, to Becca, to Alvario. And a point for the Vikings. Great play there by Alvario.
Great job there. That ball could have been going high anyway, but he just finds a fingertip on the way out.
So Rhino Kalamutan, he's checked in for the Vikings, and he is back to serve. So Kalamutan just gets it over. And Vernon Hills playing with it. Goes up number 9 to Hamoy. Becca, way out to Selig. Vernon Hills pops it up, set up the spike, and spikes it right on into the nets. Another point for Niles North.
Again, offensively, just not a lot seems to be working for the Cougars. The middle sets are coming inconsistent. The right sides can't find kills. When it does go to the outside, there's some hard hits coming down, but it's just looking rough as Kalamutan unfortunately misses the court there, forcing the sub, bringing Alvario back in for Don Bartolad to come back in as well.
So number 11 for Vernon Hills. Pops it over. And that one, way too much. Another point for the Vikings. So Horia Becca back to serve. Slight tap over to Vernon Hills. Big slam! And Andrew Selig celebrating that one, and the bench is up and down. That was a high energy momentum play.
It was also a filthy play. Selig's second solo block of the game, and that falls straight down. He's teaching him a course about gravity, I think. We're doing Physics 101.
Physics 101. I love it. Hamoy. And a nice little easy tap right there. You don't got to do all that. Gina Hamoy able to bury it, and the Vikings are just 10 away from a V for Viking victory on senior night. So Vernon Hills with it. We're not quite. Just getting it back to the Vikings. I looked away for a second to check out a door, so I got a little confused, guys.
He served while a sub was still going on, so that's a redo.
And that one will be a point for the Vikings. Make it 9 away. Correction, Vernon Hills. Vikings are still 10 away. Here's Selig. Over the number 9. Number 4, and tap by Selig. Number 9 pops over. Toma up to Becca. Back to Toma, reaching over. Number 14 sets up the spike to 2. Becca pops up, Hamoy, and buries it home. Gina Hamoy, another play.
Man, it's his vision. It's his vision that's gotten him this far, 3 great years on varsity, and he just keeps showing off a lot of the same stuff. He's finding open parts of the court, and he keeps going back to them until they get fixed. And when they get fixed, what do you know? There's a tip, there's a strong hit. Homeboy seems to always find a way to score for the Vikings.
A great varsity career for the North Park commit, and another filthy play. Putting on a show for senior night.
Selig, Andrew, you have one more year, man. You don't need to be doing this on their senior night. Come on, class of 2026.
You got a preview for the future. And that one will be a point for Vernon Hills.
Unfortunately, he may have listened to me there. Sorry about that, Andrew.
Say you forgive him. Well, you're down there. You can't really say it in the moment. Say when you watch back the stream. That's the point for Vernon Hills. We're in the point of the broadcast where we go off the rails a tiny bit.
Just a little bit. I thought that was going in, and I was going to get really excited because Tua has been showing some great stuff on senior night. But you know what? We take those. That's a good strong hit that he just can't find the court on. Did it happen again? I think another serve while a sub was coming in. Herbert Abs before the ref blew the whistle, and we get a second redo in about 5 points, right?
Yeah, something like that. Crazy times. So the libero for the Cougars sets it. Here is 2 over to Toma, back to Selig. And 2 able to get it off. And tapped there by Toma. Becca sets up Toma, and a big slam there. Stefan Toma burying it home once more.
Weight room.
Yeah.
Toma, a beast in the weight room. Ever since we were freshmen, as long as I could remember. And he shows it off every game with some big hits and huge blocks as well, forcing the first time out of the set. Coming in kind of late, in all honesty, with a 7-point deficit, but Vernon Hills finally forced to call their first timeout.
And a timeout here from Vernon Hills. David, what can you say about the Cougars?
The Cougars have shown bright spots here and there, but really the big thing is the offense just isn't working as intended. The middle sets are a little bit off. The right side sets aren't working if the middle sets aren't, and the Vikings are just exploiting practically every opportunity they can to find space on offense and to just not allow the Cougars to get anything started. And with the Vikings 7 points away from a victory, it's Dan Bartlett back to serve again, but not before a Cougar substitution as number 10 is in for number 4. As the whistle blows, Dan Bartlett is off. Solid reception. Big right side set, and it looked like a big dig from Selig. Unfortunately, goes over and falls out of bounds. But a great job to get under that ball, and that's one that you'll take because that was an exceptional hit from the right side hitter there for Vernon Hills. As it'll be number 19 back to serve, 18-12 for the Vikings.
I'm back. Had to run to the bathroom, guys. Sorry about that. Here's Becca. Over to 2. And slamming it home. Key Aaron 2.
They call that the donut because, you know why? Because it's the whole of a donut. Everybody's surrounding it, and nobody's willing to get down to get that ball in the middle. Great job for Tua to be able to find it.
So here comes the Vikings. And that one able to bury it home. And the Vikings 5 away.
Another great awareness play from 2. He keeps getting them. I don't know if he's at, 9 or 10 this game? I should be counting better. But just able to find some space even when getting the block back over, as it's a rough middle set. Trying to make something happen, the Vikings, and it flies out of bounds. But a little bit of a broken play. You can't be too mad at that result.
No, you cannot. So number 4 for Vernon Hills, way out. And dumps it off, number 9 for the Cougars.
Just a little bit of an overpass that's able to be blocked back over by number 9. A good job, and the comeback is unlikely, but it's possible for the Cougars here.
Well, anything can happen in high school boys volleyball, as my dear friend Anthony Bramley will say, or would say. He's right now downstairs. Usually he's up here running the stream, but he's actually downstairs. He's the manager for the boys volleyball team. Has been for, I believe, 3 years. I want to say he played as freshman. Now he's a manager, so he's helping run things.
2 years.
2 years. Thank you for correcting me. 2 years. He's helping run the team down there, and he was actually honored at senior night. So special shout out to our dear friend Bramley. And that's a big shot right there. 22-15, 3 to go for a win on senior night.
Selig seems to be the mediator, if you will, this game. Every time they need, I don't think that's the right word. Doesn't matter. Every time the Vikings need a point, they're going to Selig, and it seems to be working fairly consistently.
So Kalamutan right into the net. He doesn't like that one.
That's an unfortunate one. You don't love to see those missed serves. They will keep Kalamutan in the game because he wants to play. It's unfortunate that how much he plays kind of depends on how many times he can put up solid serves. But good for him. They're keeping him in the game here. Hopefully he plays till the end of this.
So here we go. And back over to Toma, and that one falling down. Big play there by Big Stefan Toma.
Some good movement there, running the slide. You don't often see it, but the Vikings are playing around here, trying to see what might work going towards playoffs. And they find the opportunity there as it's a rough set towards the middle to Hamoy, and he finds another kill. Just one more point for the Vikings to take home the W.
And one more. Everybody is up, including us. And everybody acknowledging Horia Becca. Puts it up. Tapped over, and that will do it for senior night. The Vikings sweep Vernon Hills. The Cougars falling 25-16 here in the second set. And a great showing for Niles North on senior night. A very quick one, too. I don't know, this game lasted barely an hour. And David, what can you say about the Vikings' dominance here on senior night?
You absolutely couldn't ask for much more. They minimized mistakes. They took advantage of Vernon Hills' errors. And at the end of the day, a fantastic win to honor our seniors on senior night. And you can only look forward to what's coming up next for our Vikings.
You love to see it. And before we go, I want to talk to everybody here for a quick minute. This was, I believe, our last stream of the year for NN Viking Media. And as you know, I'm a senior. David, you're a senior. Our camera operator, Jason Schmitz, also a senior. Our producer / color commentator / volleyball manager, Anthony Bramley, also a senior. And it's been a ride. I've been doing this since my junior year, and this has been one of the best experiences of my life. Being able to call these games and share these great moments in Niles North Athletics with all of you at home. I was able to even call a couple games on TV. One with you, one with our friend Rino Calamutan. So I've had a lot of great opportunities along with the rest of us here. So I would like to say before we go, thank you. Thank you for being with us and sticking around while we call some great Niles North action. But with that being said, I'm Jacob Ornstein.
I'm David Kshoshkevich.
And good night, Vikings.